Hey girlfriends, welcome back to Sweetly Good. This is a place where faith meets femininity and health, and we look at all the things that has to do with our purpose and also that helps to bring us closer to God. Today is the fourth day of the Whole You Challenge, February 4th, which is today. That's the day that I am recording. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the meal that I will be eating today, and also what I'll be having for my lunch. And I want to also talk to you all about what today's Bible study was about as well. So I'm going to be talking through some things as I'm showing you. I've already prepped some things, and the oven is on 385. I'm going to be roasting some vegetables, and I will be preparing a kale salad on camera with you. So today's theme is walking in God's timing. This smells so good. This candle is a candle that I make, and it's called Paradise, and it is a soy candle. Smells delicious. It smells just like paradise. So we're going to light this candle before we get into our Bible study and into making our meal as well. So I'm gonna light this candle because I need like really good aromas, and we're just gonna put it in here in this nice Valentine's Day theme container that I got from Ross. I believe I paid $7.99 for it, and it has the nice lips and a nice hearts. Getting ready for the theme. I have on my red necklace. I have red lip on today, but I ended up taking it off because I had a dentist appointment that went really well. So let's get into what we are going to be eating tonight. So tonight, I didn't go by what we have here. Actually, go by what we have here. So our lunch today is a vegan Buddha bowl with roasted sweet potatoes, kale, and I did not make a tahini dressing because today I'm just gonna have everything kind of plain. It is late. I have been out basically all day, and I do want something good, and I want to be able to make enough to be able to bring to work with me for tomorrow. So what I do is I have in this bowl that I'm going to show you here, this roasting pan, I have sweet potatoes, I have bell peppers, sweet broccoli, and edamame. That's what I have. So I'm going to show you what it looks like because I like to eat with colors. So that's where we are. That looks so good, right? So what I do is I dice them up, and with the green vegetables and the bell peppers, I only put olive oil on it. That's it. I don't put any salt. I don't put any other seasonings on it. With the sweet potatoes, I dice them up and I put olive oil, and I use the extra virgin olive oil. Any brand is good, but extra virgin olive oil is what I use. And I also put some cumin, and any brand of cumin works as well. So that is all that I put on my sweet potatoes, and I put absolutely no seasoning, only olive oil is a healthy fat. So there are 3 different fats that you can use that are healthy fats. One is olive oil, the other is coconut oil, and the other is avocado. Those are the 3 healthy fats that you can use. You need 3 things on your plate. You need carbs, fats, and protein. So within this whole bowl right here, sweet potatoes is a carb. The bell peppers is a carb. Sweet broccoli is a carb. And the edamame is a protein. Okay. So I have that, and then the other thing that I'm going to be putting in the Buddha bowl just to continue to add protein, because in one of the videos I told you my doctor wanted me to cut down on my carbs, and she wanted me to exercise more, which I have been doing. So I have here some chickpeas that I am going to be roasting. So all I did with the chickpeas was I drained it, washed it thoroughly, and then I put some olive oil, some extra virgin olive oil on here. And I'm going to show you the seasoning that I use on the chickpeas, because you definitely want your chickpeas to taste good. So I use some Himalayan salt. Morton's is what I have because I need to go to the natural stores, because sometimes I get different Himalayan salt, but I do have Morton's, so I use Himalayan salt. Garlic powder. I use the Mrs. Dash, the Southwest Chipotle, I think it is. Yep, Southwest Chipotle. I also put just about on everything. I put smoked paprika. And this time around, I wanted to add a little heat to it. So I added some chili powder. And then all I do is I just mix it around to put everything together. And if you look, you can still see the olive oil on here. So I'm going to actually put this in the oven so it can roast in this pan, because that pan is full. Sometimes if I don't do a lot of vegetables, I will put it in here. So I'm going to roast this in the oven, and I'm going to put this in the oven as well on 385, and I do it until the sweet potatoes are tender. So when I'm getting ready to take it out, I'll take you over there so you can look at it. What we are going to make also is a kale salad. So let me put this in the oven and we will be back to make our kale salad. Let's get started on our kale salad. So this week I went to Sprouts and I saw some kale that I wanted to try, a different color. I wanted to try kale that was more rich and dark other than the normal curly leaf kale that I like. So I think it's Placenta. I cannot find the label. Hold on one second. Yes. Haha. So it's called organic lacinato kale. That's what it is. Organic lacinato kale. So I got this kale and I tried it yesterday and it was so good. So I wanted to repeat this kale salad and I just want to have a little on top of my Buddha bowl. So let us get the Placenta kale. It was a really small bunch of kale. It came with 8 kale leaves. And this is what it looks like. I've washed it thoroughly. So everything here I will have already washed and I will just be cutting them up for you. So here's these beautiful kale. Now the thing with kale is that you need to, if you're going to eat it raw, you need to massage the kale with organic extra virgin olive oil, and you also need to massage it with either lemon or lime juice just to make it more palatable for you and make it easier to digest. And another trick is also to get some hot water, boil the water, and then you can actually dip the kale in and it kind of breaks it down to make it a lot softer. I like my kale salad to be cold, so I don't necessarily put it in the hot water. Now I used to do that, but it takes time because I want to put it in the hot water. Then I want it to sit and get cool. So today, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to massage it with the extra virgin olive oil. Now this kale has like these beautiful stem. Like I said, just look at how pretty this looks. So I'm going to give this a fine chop. Some people I see, they give it a rough chop. And then I'm going to put it in our bowl. So everything is going to go in this bowl and I have a garbage bowl behind me. So this is my garbage bowl, right? And this is my actual prep bowl. So this is one of my favorite knives. I got this knife like 6 years ago when I moved into my apartment and I bought it at Home Goods. I don't know if they have anymore, but it's like really colorful variety and it's called Squish. And after 5 years, I've never needed to sharpen this knife and it hasn't been dull on me. And this green one's my favorite one. So again, like I said, I'm going to give it a small, I'm chopping them small. But let's talk about God's timing, right? God's timing it's perfect. You have a different time than God. And what I've learned is that nothing happens before it's time. So you may want something to happen, but God is going to put you into a situation where you're going to have to learn patience. You're going to have to learn to trust his timing and trust in him. Throughout this series, I started this video. The video series. I've really been talking a lot about trust and how we have to put our cares on God and allow him to do what he does, because ultimately that is the proving of our faith, is being able to trust in God and trust in the things that he wants to have happen. Last week, I had a moment of being in like a frenzy, right? So this is what the kale looks like when you chop it. Being in a frenzy. I was in like some kind of panic mode, not panic, but like anxious. I noticed that when I don't eat well or sleep well, there's a lot of little things that bother me. A lot of little things that I make bigger than it really is, and more so in my head, right? No one will ever know that I'm like that unless you talk to me on a regular basis and I give you my thoughts. I don't give everyone my thoughts. So, what I was stressing about wasn't even anything to be stressing about because it wasn't even directed towards me. It was something that happened at work, and I thought that they were talking about me. But they weren't. And I had created this story in my head over the weekend. But what I had to end up doing is I knew that I was starting the challenge. And so I had to put that aside. And what I had to do was I had to, number one, rest. I had to rest my care on God, because whatever I was actually thinking, it wasn't even that. I also had to make sure that I was taking care of my mind. And so I had to make sure that I was in the Word of God, and I had to make sure that I went around people that were like-minded. So I ended up going to church as well. I do go to church regularly, but I went to church and I was filled with what the Lord needed to fill me with. And what the message was is that I needed to rest. And so I came home and I decided, I'm going to spend some time with Mom, and my sisters came home, and then I ended up going to sleep like within an hour of coming home. So that was what I needed. I needed to rest my cares on God. I needed to rest my body, my mind, my soul, and I needed to get into the Word, because God's timing is perfect. And so nothing is going to happen outside of His time without Him knowing it. So He is going to direct everything, and He is going to allow us to be in a space of being patient. But I'm going to tell you something, real talk. When you ask God for patience, He puts you in a situation to be patient. So my advice is to be really specific with what you are asking God. Don't say, oh Lord, help me be patient. Be specific. What is it that you're asking Him to help you to be patient with? Now, look how beautiful this green is. Look how beautiful this is. That's so pretty in green. So we have our massage kale here. I'm also going to add some lime juice to it, and I'm going to continue to massage that off camera the same way that I massage it, just to break it down. Now I'm also going to add, this is 3 cloves of garlic. So I'm also going to be adding some garlic. We're going to chop this garlic like up so fine. So I can probably get a garlic press, and I will. You all know that I moved into my apartment a few months ago. And so I'm starting from scratch, and I'm, slowly but surely getting things into my home that fits my personal style right now. So I am going to get a gold garlic press. I have a lot of things sitting in my Amazon cart. And so, when I'm ready to pull the trigger and I'm ready to buy, I'm definitely going to be buying. So again, like I said, let me move that out the way. I'm going to be mincing up this garlic like super fine. So I'm just going to keep chopping. You got to be really careful when you're chopping. You're cutting anything. So I normally just put my hand on the knife and I just go in like a rocking chopping motion, and I smell that garlic and it smells really good. So I did yesterday when I made this kale salad, I did put garlic in there, and I had it really finely minced to the point where you could taste it, but you couldn't see it. So you just got to keep chopping and working on it, staying in that motion. And I had made this with some pickled onions yesterday, and those pickled onions that I made, they were so good. I do have a video of how to make pickled onions, and how I make it is I put some white distilled vinegar, a little bit of apple cider vinegar to get a little bit of sweetness going in there. I also put a bay leaf in there. That was something that I tried new, and some sugar. So I will link that so you can see how to make those. But those pickled onions taste so delicious in this kale salad. But what I wanted to do is I wanted the onions to be a little bit more pungent this time. So I'm going to end up cutting up fresh onions to put in the kale salad. So I'm just going to keep chopping, mincing, dicing, whatever you want to call it. Cutting, chopping, mincing, dicing. I'm just going to keep doing that until I get to the desired fineness that I want for the garlic. Okay, so right now this is the desired fineness because the fact that we're going to be mixing it in the kale salad, we're not going to really see it. So this is what the garlic looks like chopped. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my bowl, and all I'm doing is putting the garlic in the kale, in the chopped kale. So the other thing that I like to put in here, sometimes I do tomatoes depending on how I'm feeling. Today I'm feeling like tomatoes, and I'm also feeling like sun-dried tomatoes. So I am gonna put both. So I'm gonna grab my tomatoes out of the sink that I've washed. Now, these are the tomatoes here. And I love like pretty colors of tomatoes. These are the, I think it's called Wild Wonders. I did a grocery haul and I believe I showed you guys this before, but these are the Wild Wonders tomatoes. And let's see, my laptop just updated. No, it looks like a whole new laptop. Gray. All right, that's that. All right. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna cut our tomatoes. Even though they're small, we're gonna cut them even smaller because the goal is to have a finely chopped salad. Okay, so we put our bowl over there. So we cut them in halves first, and then we cut those halves in halves, and we cut that in half. So you should have, for a small tomato, you should have 8 pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna cut and put them in the bowl. Y'all, I gotta get me a new light because that light be over here giving me life and then be taking a light from me. I'm like, really? So now when I'm cooking, I'm like super concentrated. And so being on camera and making this new for me because I normally am a private cook and I just kind of whip stuff up, get creative in the kitchen. And then I share typically with my family about the meals that I make. We have like a family group chat. And so I will share like the meals with them. And then, you know, they may make it, especially if they know like they're gonna lose weight on it. Everybody wants to lose weight. So I'm at a point in my weight loss where I'm not plateaued. I think I just need to increase the workout in terms of the calories that I'm burning. So I looked up some high intensity workouts and I forgot about jump roping, right? I used to jump rope all the time. That's how I'm going to be adding an English cucumber. But jump roping is how I would start my workouts. When I used to work out every day and run, I would do like 100 jumps because jumping rope burns so many calories. So you didn't get to see how I slice my cucumbers. I just kind of sliced them thinly in a vertical direction. Okay, and so what I'm going to do with these cucumbers is I'm going to just dice them up small enough, and I'm going to put them in the salad as well. So I just slice them downward and make them like that. What I'm probably going to do next week is I'm more than likely going to make a vegetable sushi roll. And I used to make it with my daughter. I try not to eat the rice, and so I'll have to look for a substitute in terms of what I can use instead of rice. I do like jasmine rice. I was watching a guy and he was talking about rice and like, so what it says on the rice, and if it's like enriched, that's the one that's kind of making you gain weight because of the things that they put in the rice. So if you're going to eat rice that doesn't have that, that's not enriched. Okay, so let me give you a glance at what our salad is looking like so far. So that's what it's looking like, all these beautiful colors in here. We're gonna go on and we're gonna add a purple onion, fresh onion. It just gives it a nice taste. Like purple onions, they just taste so good in salads. Like I've been eating purple onions, I just can't go back to eating regular onions, especially even when I'm making like regular, instead of using white onions, I use the purple onions. I just love the way they look, and they're not as pungent as the white yellow onions. Okay, so we're putting that in there. Now this salad is going to also serve me purpose for work tomorrow, because I try to make sure that when I am making my food, that I make enough food to bring with me to work also. All right, let's get cleaned up, and then we're gonna put the finishing touches on this salad, and then we're gonna check on our vegetables in the oven, and then we're gonna see what we need to do next. We might sit down and relax a little bit, and then we might just chit chat about God's timing. So normally if I had some avocado, I would have put avocado in here as well. But for the sake of the salad and kind of keeping it a bit simple, we're not going to put avocado in there. We would just put that on the side. And plus, we already have olive oil in here, which is a healthy fat. So I'm going to give you a peek of what the salad looks like. That's what it's looking like before we add our finishing touches, our finishing seasonings. So there's already olive oil in here, and there's already lemon juice or lime juice in here. And I use a few different seasonings. So I do put a little bit of Himalayan salt. I use dried basil. I use the garlic powder. So those are the 3 main seasonings that I put in here. And then I also use this sunshine seasoning from Tabitha Brown. As you can tell, almost out. I've had it for a little while, but I do use this seasoning because it gives it a tang. And it does say that it's salt free, but I noticed when I was reading the ingredients, guys, there's brown sugar in here. There's brown sugar. I'll give you guys a picture of it. So there is brown sugar in here, and when I look at the total sugars, it says, and this is added sugar 0. So if brown sugar is in here, why does it say that it's 0? I'm just confused with that. I don't think it's a large amount of sugar, but it does have sugar in here. So be sparing with this. Don't use a lot of it. Main ingredient is the garlic powder, basil, the dry basil. That's the main event. So the salt we're gonna use for taste. Ain't nothing coming out. It's coming out now. So you're just gonna sprinkle the salt, not a lot. That was probably like about a teaspoon. Yeah, small. Maybe that was maybe a half a teaspoon. And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna take your basil and you're just gonna sprinkle your basil. It's gonna cover everything. Next thing that you're gonna sprinkle in here is the garlic powder. And again, garlic is already in there, but this just helps to bring up the flavor. And you don't ever want to drown your food with a lot of garlic, because you want to actually be able for the flavors to lift. Okay. So now we're going to add in that, what is this called? The Sunshine by Tabitha Brown. So we're going to add that in. And it does give it a nice flavor, like I said. So you don't need to go overboard with it, because the flavors that you really want to pick up are the flavors in the actual kale salad that you're making. I did forget one more ingredient, and we're gonna add that. Yesterday I added pumpkin seeds, and I added flax powder and chia, and I added some nutritional yeast, so I'm gonna add that as well. All right, so you got to see the seasonings that I put in there. I did forget to add one thing, and that was the sun-dried tomatoes. I'm not going to add a lot because there are already tomatoes in here, but I do like the flavoring that it gives. So I'm adding some sun-dried tomatoes, and I use the California sun-dried tomatoes. That's the one I use. Okay, and then our next step is to mix everything up. So that's what we're gonna end up doing. Let's mix all the pretty colors together. I do smell my vegetables back there, and I really can't wait to eat it. I'm going to add just for some extra protein, because I'm trying to up my protein, especially with working out. Like I worked out this morning and I was like hungry like an hour later. And I definitely don't want to be hungry with eating, because I had like a yogurt, but I think I need to eat like a bigger breakfast. Next week, I'm going to be going back to my green smoothies. So this is what our salad is looking like. I will show it to you plated. This is what our salad is looking like. That's bomb. That's bomb. I am going to add some pumpkin seeds. Like I said, I do have some dry cranberries. And I use a 50% less sugar. And I'm going to sprinkle some chia seeds on everything, as well as some nutritional yeast and some flax seed powder. So here goes my chia seeds, my seed meal. And I'm gonna grab my pumpkins. These are roasted and salted. So let me grab those. And so that's also gonna go right in here in the kale salad. So this by itself is a good meal, but I'm not gonna have a lot on it because I definitely want the cooked vegetables, because the raw food right now has been making me feel constipated. I'm gonna edit that out, but I'm gonna find a word for that. So the soft food, I need the soft food to be easily digestible so that I can kind of have those mornings and days where I'm feeling less bloated and less backed up. So that's the salad. We're gonna let this sit here and marinate in all of its goodness. Gonna get our bowl. This is what we're gonna plate our Buddha bowl in, as well as our kale. This is what I tend to eat all of my food in. It's a small enough bowl for me, but large enough for all the food. You'd be surprised at how much this holds. So I'm gonna clean up and then check on the food in the oven. So the Buddha bowl is ready, or the contents for the Buddha bowl is ready. So I'm going to bring you guys over to the stove, let you see what it looks like. And we're going to plate our bowl over there. Okay, because that thing is hot and I'm not going to pick that up and burn myself and bring it over here. So y'all going to come with me over there. Okay. All right. So this is what we're looking like with the Buddha bowl. We've got everything roasted and ready. The edamame, that's just like the outside shell. I typically just kind of pull the edamame out of it. So we have everything there ready. And then this is what our chickpeas are looking like. I want it to be a little bit crispy. And so there we go. So we're done. That's good. So I'm going to plate our bowl and give you guys a peek of what we're gonna eat it with. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our kale salad on top of our Buddha bowl. Let me show you what the Buddha bowl looks like before I put that kale salad on it. This is what we're looking like, folks. We got good colors, good tasty colors. And you know, I had to have me a piece of that edamame, and that was delicious. So we're gonna add some more things. This is like a really super good bowl. I'm not gonna say it's a simple meal to make because it does take time, and you have to have the time to cut up all the vegetables. And you can cut these vegetables overnight and you can put them away for yourself for when you're ready to make this delicious Buddha bowl with the kale salad. So we are going to get our pumpkin seeds. So we have our pumpkin seeds, and we're just gonna grab about that much, and we're just gonna sprinkle it on top of everything. Now, like I said, I do just to kind of keep me full. It's okay to put chia seeds on your salad. So I do that much, like 1 spoonful, and I just sprinkle it on everything. I don't sprinkle the whole thing because these chia seeds are small. And then also put the flaxseed meal on here. I started doing this when I was eating raw vegan, putting flax on everything, because whether you know it or not, the chia seeds and the flax, they actually help with your gut health, and they actually help to keep you regular so you're not backed up. And then I'm going to add, now I found this one and I do like this one. It's called Frontier Co-op, and I think I got this at Sprouts. So I'm gonna add this premium nutritional yeast. So I'm just gonna sprinkle that on top of my meal, so it gives it that little cheesy kind of flavor. I do have vegan feta, but I'm not gonna use that because I don't really need that today, but it does taste good on that wrap. I'll make that at one time. So I just do like a little bit of classic glaze. This is a balsamic glaze. This tastes really good. It just kind of brings the flavor up a little bit. There's one more thing that I forgot. I've got also some dried cranberries. These dried cranberries are 50% less sugar. Well, I like to taste cranberries and not sugary sweet so that it hurts my teeth. And then I just sprinkle like a handful on there just to give it like sweetness, and then pop a couple in my mouth. So this is what our Buddha bowl looks like. Okay, let's go on and put the glaze on here, and we're all done.
Wow!
See all this goodness. Let's eat. Amen. Let's go with the edamame. So good. Delicious. All right, let's go with the sweet broccoli. I'm going to buy some more broccoli from Sprouts. Because this broccoli is so good. All right, let's get into our roasted peppers. These peppers have like the sweetness to it that I just can't describe. Now let us get some chickpeas. This is good. Real good. Yep. Delicious. So I just want to thank you all for tuning in and watching this episode. We did talk about God's timing. I am going to drop in another video attached onto this video about the Bible study, but I'm going to eat my food first, get some stuff in my stomach. It's late. I want to eat. I want to thank you all for watching. If you like this content today, don't forget to share. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please refer this channel to another friend who is looking to be in the Holy Girl tribe, who wants to take care of her body and get closer to her purpose and closer to God. And in the meantime, get healthy doing everything. So I want to thank you all for watching. I'm going to eat my food and I'm going to watch Paradise on Hulu. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Love you. Bye.